Check it out, this is the Big L, you know what I'm saying? Chillin' with my man Herb, we gon' drop like this, check it out. Check it. You better flee hops or get your head flown 3 blocks. L be keeping niggas' hearts pumping like Reeboks. It's the nigga that bitches sucking sweat. Faggots are walking wet. Disrespecting, I'ma break your fucking neck. I'm known to put a cap in a duck face. I spray guns, fuck bass. I'm a nutcase from a rough place. It's called Uptown. Front and get bucked down. Walk through with Jews on that ass and get stuck, clown. I got styles you can't copy, bitch. It's the 666 in the mix. Straight from H double hockey sticks. I'm the devil's son, like my song said. I smash niggas like cornbread. You can't kill me, I was born dead. I wet shit up like a floodage. Me and my crew build cats and carry gats like it's luggage. I'm nowhere near trash, so step to the rear fast. For I have your queer ass crying like tear gas. Every year I gain clout and my game sprout. Some niggas will still be virgins if crack never came out. The Big L's hard to kill when my squad gets ill. You better guard your grill before you get scarred for real. Big L is a large boss, known for putting more holes in a nigga body than a golf course. I'm crazy quick to knock a duck off. I pull out and buck off and tear a nigga grill right the fuck off. You get smoked like a Philly fast, cause your shit is really trash. Fuck around, I swing on your silly ass. It's Big L, the crime converter, saying peace to all the niggas in jail doing time for murder. I wreck the mic plus the whole stage, rocking cornrow braids. I'm killing motherfuckers like old age, known to have a hottie open. I keep the shotty smoking, front and get half the bones in your body broken. I never force teach, so listen as the boss preach. I only rock levels but Mark Buchanan in North Beach. I'm making rap hits, I snap flicks and Mac chicks, just the slim ones. You won't see L with no fat bitch. You I'm the nigga that they call A-War. Punks I slay on my spare time I play ball. In the playgrounds I spray clowns with trade pounds, making G's from transporting keys on Greyhounds. My shit is kicking like a sensei, I'm smoother than Ben Gay. Comprende, I'm outie like MJ. So heard my rough, my mellow, my nigga.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's Trout. Today I'm bringing you guys my heavy armor Stamina Dragonknight build that I'm calling the Exalted Hero. That's a reference to Warhammer Fantasy Battle, Warriors of Chaos, if you're a Warhammer fan anyway. But I originally had a medium armor build to come out, and it's pretty much done, but it's getting changed too heavily next patch for me to release. It was using Tavas, Balorghs, and Toothrow. It was straight trashing people, had it all ready to go, and then I held it for that Monday when the patch notes came out, and I saw they changed Major Evasion to be, from a 15% RNG dodge chance to 25% AoE damage mitigation, which doesn't make any fucking sense to me. You're wearing a lighter weight of armor, and you're getting more mitigation, but whatever. Anyway, you're here for the heavy armor build. Let's go ahead and get into the gear. Gear's nothing fancy on this build, it's more about the skills here. We're using 2-piece Bloodspawn, 5-piece 7th Legion, and 5-piece Hulking Draugr. Now, all of our gear is impenetrable, and we're using Tri-Stat enchantments on the head, chest, and legs, and we're using max stamina enchantments on the gloves, shoulders, belt, and boots. Our jewelry gets a little bit fancy here. We're using 2 Hulking Draugr jewelry pieces, and we're using 1 7th Legion one. This lets us run 5-1-1. On our first Hulking Draugr ring, we have a weapon damage enchantment and a robust. This is also our flex ring. If you're doing BGs, or if you're not getting continuous attack, or if you're not really that great at heavy attacking yet, you're still learning that heavy attack playstyle of StamDk, drop the weapon damage enchantment, put on a stam regen. That's why I keep this one robust. As you'll see, the second one is an infused weapon damage one. This beats out robust weapon damage, not by much. It's like 250 damage on a D swing, which ain't dick. But mid-max, I use the infused weapon damage one. It is technically better, and this enchantment here never changes. My third one here is a stam recovery robust Hulking Draugr necklace, and this one here never changes for me either. So, hence why I keep it robust. Now for our weapon on our front bar, we're using a Hulking Draugr battle axe. You can proc that nasty ass bleed. And it's a Nerdhone trait, increasing our weapon damage that weapon provides by 15%. And we're using double damage poisons on our front bar, which I'll show you guys how to make later in the video. Those are juicy too, by the way, because they can proc that poison status effect and get us back 500 more stamina, which can occur every 5 seconds under Dragonknight, under our passives. Anyway, and our back bar weapons is an infused Hulking Draugr mace with a weapon damage enchantment on it. I have a hard-on for doing that. If you don't like it, that's fine. But, our shield is infused max stamina. It's going to increase our vigor tooltip a little bit. Vigor doesn't scale off of bar swaps. As well as our noxious breath and venomous claw tooltip, as they're located on our back bar on this build. Now, I'm using these sets together because I find that StamDk has really good self-healing potential. When you get 12% healing received from your passives, Heavy Armor gives us another 8%. You get Major fucking Mending from Fragmented Shield for almost 6 seconds. So your healing potential is there, but you have no sources of healing in Heavy Armor. Like, on a Heavy Armor StamDk, I should say. You have Forward Momentum Hot, and you have Vigor. Like, that's it. So, we had to try to get healing from as many sources as possible. And I'm going to show you guys in a bit. I use Crushing Weapon on this build, which gives you a nice juicy heal. And that's the reason why I'm using 7th Legion. I'm trying to step away from this set. When I'm buffed up with Major Mending and whatnot, I can crank that heal up to this to be 2k. Which in Cyrodiil, obviously, that'll be a 1k heal. But every 2 seconds, that's not that bad. That's the same as Forward Momentum. And I was fucking around with, where the hell is it? Briarheart. That heals butt cheeks. The proc chance is kind of butt cheeks, and needless to say, Hulking Draugr blew it out of the water. I figured the crit would help my self heals and shit, and my damage a bit too. And I figured that little heal it would give you would kind of do something. Nah, it's total ass cheeks. And that heal on that set has a 1 second cooldown too. So you're only getting 300 and some fucking health every 1 second if you're doing critical damage too, which you will because you're all your dots, but it's not worth it at all. I played around with a lot of sets, as you can see as I scroll down on it right here, and the Slime Cross setup wasn't bad. If you want to slot Swift, I don't recommend running Bloodspawn and 7th Legion for Swift. Like, you could put on Heavy Hundings, and then use Slime Craw, and you can run around slaying people like that. It worked pretty well for me. I pissed around with Spriggan's a little bit, but like I said, we have a really big need for heals on this build. As all StamDk does in general. And Spriggan's 5-piece not affecting our heals. I couldn't have that. I find I just couldn't heal back up as quick as I could with Hulking Draugr. I mean, Hulking Draugr's stats, especially for your heals, are just insane. Alright, so let's go ahead and go over our skills. We're going to start with our front bar first, our two-handed bar. Our first skill is Forward Momentum. Only 2,400 stamina on a build that we have no other cost reduction than the native 15% stamina cost reduction. So I'm not using a cost reduction glyph here, and we're in 5 heavy. So I got 2% cost reduction from that one piece of media I'm wearing. The heal over time is 2 seconds, gives us Major Brutality for 33 seconds, which is nice, and activating this ability grants us Snare Immunity for 8 seconds. It's kind of like a must-have nowadays in Cyrodiil. Like, you just can't out-tank people these days. You're just going to get beat down. Unless you're in like Pirate Skelly kind of shenanigans, but Forward Momentum's a must-have for 1vx, especially Stamina these days. A lot of magic abilities use it. It's a very strong skill. Second skill is Reverse Slice. It's an AoE splash damage execute. It's pretty juicy. It's pretty cheap too. Third skill is Dizzying Swing. CC, main burst ability, 1 second cast time. Kind of hard to land, so you kind of want to backpedal with it, or forward pedal if your opponent's fleeing from you. You kind of want to circle your opponent at the same time too. This skill takes practice to land. It's one of the ultimate Pug Slayer abilities in the game. Note its range is 7 meters too, and you can extend that out to 10.5. Fourth ability is Crushing Weapon. This is a Psijic ability. And what this ability does, it's only 2,300 stamina, which is getting a cost reduction with the Murkmire patch by like, I want to say 10 or 15%. And you charge your weapon up, and you cause your next light attack to do pretty much spammable damage. And it heals you for a percentage of the damage done. Right here is 26% because I'm not buffed up. I think I can crank that up to like 50% when I'm buffed up, or 46 or something like that. But if you also can't land that light attack because it's Cyrodiil, you get CC'd, fucking lag, the light attack doesn't land, whatever, the resources for costing the skill gets refunded back to you, which is pretty nice because you're going to find that a lot of times it just doesn't connect. If it's laggy. Outside of prime time, yeah, it's phenomenal. So Crushing Weapon, light attack into Dizzying Swing, and it's a nasty burst. Fifth skill is Camouflaged Hunter. We don't ever cast this skill unless you're like face-hugging Nightblades that keep spamming Cloak. Go ahead and cast and beat him down. But this pretty much just gives us a passive 3% weapon damage and our Major Savagery bonus, which is 10% more critical strike chance on our front bar. It also grants you Minor Berserk, though, when you do critical damage from Sneak. Like, if you're in Stealth and you have Forward Momentum healing you, it will actually proc that. And you get Minor Berserk for 8 seconds coming out of it. So you can do some fun shenanigans like that, too, if you want to ambush somebody with a Take Flight from Stealth. And speaking of Take Flight, that's our ultimate on our front bar. It is probably one of my favorite ultimates in the game. These DK dunk people, no dot to it, which is kind of awkward, because DK is all about dots, and then you have this instant direct damage ability. AoE has a knockback, it's only 110 ultimate. It's lovely. It's cheap enough we can spam it for resources. On our sword and board bar, first skill is Fragmented Shield. Grants us Major Mending for 5.5 seconds, and that increases our healing done by 25%. really amps up our vigor. Which, speaking of vigor, our second skill, this is you're looking at a stamina build here. Obviously, we're gonna have vigor, right? And heals us over time. I'm not buffed up, so the tooltip looks a little low. But you want to keep this up on you 100% of the time. On this setup here, you'll have it damn near close to that. Other than that, it's phenomenal skill. Keep it up, and you'll be alright. Number 3, Noxious Breath. This is kind of a shit dot. It's AoE. It's relatively cheap, and I think it's getting a cost reduction next patch too. It inflicts all the enemies you hit with it with Major Fracture, reducing their physical resistance by 5280, which is an awesome, awesome, awesome damage buff. If you notice, it says its radius is 10 meters, but it's a cone. Right now, live in Wolfhunter, it's bugged. It's only shooting a straight line. That's why it's so hard to hit. Same with Engulfing Flames. It's only a 3 meter wide line right now. And they are fixing this for the Murkmire patch. So it'll actually be a cone, so you can actually hit people with it. But right now, it's a 3 meter wide line. It's kind of butt cheeks. Like, it's just hard to land. You can land it, and it's still worth being slotted, in my opinion. 4 skill, Venomous Claw. Very hard-hitting damage every time ability. And it increases damage every 2 seconds by 12%. And so the last couple of ticks on this ability, tick 7, 8, 9, they just slam people. Like, it's just a really, really good skill. But it rewards a good player. As long as you don't spam it on your target, you'll be alright, which I'll show you guys the rotation around the skill in a bit. Note that Venomous Claw and Noxious Breath both have 10-second duration, even though for some reason it says 10.5 when you read the tooltip, which is weird. Go to our 5th skill, Volatile Armor. It's our armor buff. It costs Magicka. It's only 20 seconds. And has a damage over time. It shoots around you that can pull Nightblades out of stealth. Keep that in mind if you got a little bit of extra Magicka to burn. While active, it returns Magicka damage to any direct damage attacks that hit us, which is cool. And it's always entertaining when you kill somebody with it too. Like 200 damage, if that. That's if you're lucky. Usually it's like 100 damage, I think. But it grants our armor buffs, but the most important part about this skill is, Draconic Power. Activates our Burning Heart Draconic Power passive, which increases our healing received by 12%, which is huge. Huge. Keep this shit up on you 24/7. And lastly, our ultimate on our back bar is a Psijic skill line ability, Temporal Guard. It's the 128 ult once it hits rank 4. And say if you get slammed by like 3 Nightblades and a couple Botards at once or whatever, bunch of nasty shit, you can press this ability and it takes your health, Magicka, and stamina back to where they were 4 seconds ago. And whilst having this ability slotted on our back bar, we gain minor protection when we're on our sword and board bar. When we're line of sighting, trying to heal up, getting ready to set up a burst, we'll have that minor protection. Might be getting 8% of the damage off us, which is really nice. But a lot of people think that when you go back in time, you keep all their dots on you and shit. That's not true. You can literally read the tooltip for yourself right there. It just resets your health, magic, and stamina, and I've tested this many times. If you don't have the Psijic skill line, it's alright. You can drop Crushing Weapon for Carve. That'll give you minor heroism and another dot. Or you can put Rearming Trap there if you wish. This is your flex spot. And if you don't have Temporal Guard because you don't have Psijic Order abilities, or if you're just not at max rank in them yet, go ahead and slot Sword and Board Alt right here, Spell Wall. They're both phenomenal ultimates. I prefer Temporal Guard. It's a little bit trickier to use. And instead of trying to muscle through enemy ultimates, you can just totally ignore them. Alright, so let's go ahead and go over our champion points. Start with the green tree. We're going to start with the tower. 44 into Warlord to reduce the cost of break free by 17%, and then 21 into Sprinter to reduce the cost of sprint by 13%. You don't have to put these here if you don't sprint a lot. Next tree, the Lover. We're using 75 into Mooncalf to increase our stamina regen by 14%, and we're using 45 into Tenacity to increase our stamina restored by our heavy attacks by 10%. Note that that's cumulative with the heavy armor passive of 25%. So that's pretty nice, 35% extra stamina off our heavy attacks. And I put 120 points in this tree for the Windrunning passive, increase our movement speed by 2%, and increase our health and Magicka recovery while sprinting by 10%. Which is whatever. We're not using Troll King on this build, but if you were, that's an option. You can sprint around and get 10% more off that Troll King proc. Onto the Shadow. We're using 31 into Tumbling to reduce the cost of roll dodge by 13%, and we're using 44 into Shadow Ward to reduce the cost of block by 17%. You're always going to be roll dodging, you're always going to be blocking. Like, the way this game is. That's good. So, and on a StamDk, we block a little bit more than other classes. Anyway, onto the blue spectrum. The Apprentice, we're using 27 into Bless to increase our healing done by 7%. For the Astronaut, we're using 61 into Master at Arms to increase our damage done with direct damage attacks by 21%. And the Ritual, the main stamina focus tree, where you got 56 into Thaumaturge, increase the damage of our damage over time effects by 20%. 37 into Precise Strikes to increase our critical damage done by 15%. 42 into Piercing to get us 3,500 more physical penetration. And 37 into Mighty to increase all of our stamina type damage by 9%. And for the red tree, start with the Steed. 66 into Ironclad to reduce the damage taken by direct damage attacks by 22%. And 30 into Resistant, increasing our critical resistance by 844. Next, we got the Lady, which won 120 points in this tree for the Unchained passive, which is whenever you use Break Free, you reduce the cost of your next stamina ability by 80%. Anyway, we have 44 into Thick Skin to reduce our damage taken from dots by 17%. 43 into Hardy to reduce our physical damage taken by 10%, and then 37 to Elemental Defender to reduce our magical style damage by 9%. And lastly, on to the Lord. We got 3 into Expert Defender, which were throwaway points to reduce our damage taken by enemy light attacks by 2%, and then 37 to Quick Recovery to increase our healing received by 9%. Alright, so let's go ahead and go over our rotation. Start off with Forward Momentum, Bar Swap Back, Volatile Armor, Fragmented Shield, Vigor, Noxious Breath, then Light Attack, Venom Claw, Bar Swap, Light Attack, Crushing Weapon, Light Attack, D-Swing, Light Attack, Dunk. And then apply Reverse Slice when needed, obviously. Sometimes you'll kill people off the Dizzying Swing. That Crushing Weapon D-Swing combo is pretty nice. And that's relatively quick burst, in my opinion. Alright, so let's go ahead and go over the extended rotation. Same buff, same setup as the first one I just showed you guys. So the Forward Momentum, Bar Swap, Volatile, Fragmented Shield, Vigor, Noxious Breath, Light Attack, Venom Claw, Light Attack, Crushing Weapon, Light Attack, D-Swing, Light Attack, another D-Swing or Dunk right there, back, Light Attack, Vigor, back, Light Attack, Crushing Weapon, Light Attack, D-Swing, Light Attack, Dunk. See how we set our Berserker glyph up right there? And that's when Venomous Claw and Noxious Breath are at the end of their cycles, and Venomous Claw hits hard as hell at the end of its cycle. Like as I was showing you guys earlier, when I was going over the skills, it increases its damage every 2 seconds by 12%, and its last couple ticks hit extraordinarily hard. It's not unusual to get 4 or 5k ticks off them in Cyrodiil. Yeah, you don't want to Light Attack into Noxious Breath. You want to save your... Like, you don't want to do that. You want to save that Berserker glyph for when you do your Venom Claw. Gives you an extra second on the front bar to get an extra D-Swing in, or a dunk if your opponent's low enough health where you think you can dunk them out. And if you have your dunk ready. You want that 1 second extra time on your Berserker enchantment. That's pretty much what I'm trying to say here. So pretty much by doing Noxious Breath and then Light Attack Venom Claw, we gain 1 more second on our Berserker enchantment. So yeah, I just landed another Dizzying Swing while I had the Berserker enchantment up that I couldn't do so before. Alright, so let's go ahead and get the miscellaneous shit out of the way. I'm a red guard on this. You don't have to be a red guard. Just cater to whatever race you're playing. So if you're not a red guard, say you're a Khajiit, you get that 20% extra health recovery. Think about throwing Troll King on over Bloodspawn, but you're going to have to make up for that regen elsewhere, maybe with Dubious. Or I meant Archaon Broth, the superior Dubious, because we're not using Bone Pirate Tatters, but whatever race you are, make up for it elsewhere. And like I know there's a lot of orcs. Orcs, you're going to need that extra regen glyph I talked about earlier. Drop that off my 3rd piece of jewelry. Drop that weapon damage enchantment. Put on a stamina recovery enchantment. You're going to need it. We have 64 tribute points in the stamina. That's all of them. Because I don't really feel like I have a need to put any of the health. You can if you want to. But we're at 26.2k health on this build in Cyrodiil. And I feel like I don't need any more health. Our Mundus Stone is the Serpent. This increases our stamina regen by 238. And the food we're using is Biostat, Max Health, Max Stamina. And the exact one that I'm currently using is Garlic Cod with Potato Crust if you want to try to find it to buy it. You can also use Tri-Stat Food. Jug Rabbit Preserves is the one I just have on me right now. You're going to lose like 900 max health and 800 max stamina, but you wind up gaining 4100 max magicka for more fragmented shields and vigors if you're line of sighting, if you're getting heavily pressured. So that's something to consider if you want to. And the potions I'm using are Essence of Immovability, the Major Expedition, Immovable, and Stamina potions that you should probably be pretty familiar with if you ended up on this video. And I'm going to show you guys how to craft those. Craft these, we use Lorcan's Tears, Blessed Thistle, Columbine, and the Mira's Rut. Once I find it, there she is. That's how you craft these potions. And for our double damage poisons, we use Nirnroot, Nightshade, Fleshfly Larva, and Alkahest. And that's how you make the double damage poisons. There's a bug with buy-stat food and double damage poisons, and what you have to do to counter it is to unslot the double damage poisons, eat your food, and then reslot the double damage poisons. What the bug is, you wind up losing like 800 health and stamina. I don't know why like this bug is in the game, but as you can see, as I just did on the screen, just unslot your potions or your poisons, eat, and then reslot your poisons. Thanks for watching my heavy Stamina Dragonknight build video. If you guys enjoyed it, shoot it a like, and if you want to see more of my build videos coming out for other classes, go ahead and shoot me a sub. I appreciate it. Special shout out to that guy in the intro clip playing my Blood Knight build. Sorry, bud, you can't kill the creator. And if you're not familiar with that build, that was that tanky ass heavy armor mag blade with overwhelming surge coming off of him and Scoria that kept hitting me. His burst was the only one out of that group of yellows that was fucking me up. That build is awesome. Check it out if you're interested in it. But I got a medium StamDk coming next. Thanks for watching the video, and peace.